here. I see you on the screen. I have my screen on 1080p today. Does it look just even more fabulous?
Yes.
All the detail in my wrinkles. Mm-hmm. I remember when TV, like when newscasts first went to high def.
Oh.
And you could see all the makeup and contouring, and everybody looked terrible. It was just the most hilarious thing. And then they figured it out, so that it wasn't going to blur them. No Vaseline on the lens.
Isn't there a new kind of like broadcast supposed to be happening?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. What is
that again? I don't know.
Like, something about TVs and local stations and...
Yeah, I haven't been in that like territory in a long time, in that sort of radio TV space. We'll have to ask one of our TV friends what's happening. But I remember hearing something about it, and that if you have a current HD TV, you're probably fine. But there was something to do with, it's like when they went from analog to digital. And then, they kicked it to HD, and now there's another thing coming. I don't think it's just Ultra HD. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like something. I feel like...
I can't find it in my... I just heard about this, but I can't remember what it is.
Heck of a tangent
right?
Already. Like, we
is
just
that
really
Googleable?
I'm looking at it. So, new TV format, local stations. I don't know what that would be.
That seems right.
Oh, yeah. New broadcasting standard is called Next Gen TV, or the sexier term ATSC 3.0.
I think Next Gen is maybe more attractive.
Yeah, I think that's what they're calling it. So major cities and some smaller cities already have some Next Gen stations. And if you have a Sony, an LG, a Samsung, or a Hisense TV, they have multiple models of Next Gen TV tuners. Interesting.
What does it do, though? What's the point?
Well, it's just free over-the-air TV. So this is just if you have an antenna.
Okay.
Even better image quality than HD broadcasts.
I don't want to see people that clearly.
Yeah.
I'd get off my couch if I wanted to, like...
Oh, we skipped 2.0. Oh, interesting. Hang on. There is... it looks like you have a station in Sioux City with a Next Gen on air.
Is it KTIV?
I think so, but the map is not clickable. So anyway,
enough
with this rabbit hole.
Come on back to the surface.
Gone down the rabbit hole. All right. So no guests today, Caitlin. You're welcome.
Thank you for answering that question for me. Yeah,
maybe it'll come up on trivia, and now you'll be like, oh, it goes from NTSC to ATSC 3.0. Fun fact: there was no 2.0.
I literally cannot imagine a use case for that knowledge. But
trivia.
Nope. There's no
odds that it will show up on a trivia question anytime in the near future.
Yeah,
very slim.
For me, I got a speech from my best friend over the weekend that was like, there are some things that we say to each other that we don't need to say out loud to strangers. And I was like, oh, this is like when I tell Dorothy there are some words that we say at home and not at daycare. Because she's like, not everybody wants a lecture on late stage capitalism. Like, we were shopping and I was like, here's why you shouldn't do those things. And she was like, I mean, I understood where you were coming from, but I don't think they cared. I was like, yeah, you're right.
I'm doing a book on tape right now, and it's about like these two British dudes, and one is like the son of a rock star who abandoned him, and he lives with his rock star mom, and his life is a mess, and he's a disaster, but he has to find a fake boyfriend to look like a respectable gay for like this fundraiser they're doing. And so,
is it like a... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so his friends set him up with this barrister, also known as lawyer.
An attorney.
Mm-hmm, an attorney who is very rigid and whatnot, and constantly telling him things like, you shouldn't take Uber. Their ethics as a company are horrid. And you shouldn't buy from Amazon.
Except not an attorney.
I know. And so they do have a discussion also about how your ethics are wonderful, and I will never want to change them in you. However, I may sometimes take an Uber because I don't share your ethics completely. And of course, after I'm on the sequel now. So after 2 years, the rock star kid is now telling people the same thing, like we should really do a taxi because Uber's business model is unethical. Sorry, Uber, if you're listening. Love you. Wonderful, but we all know the problems you've had.
It's not just Uber. It's like generally tech companies, right?
Well,
they try and iterate or break something, and then it turns out they just make it worse.
I think
for
it's
the
also
consumer and the feature delivery people.
Yeah, it's gig economy things too.
Yeah.
A lot of those have problems, but my favorite is the Silicon Valley people who have figured out there's an app where you and your friends and neighbors can contribute money to the app, and then it can be used to do things for your mutual benefit. So they've invented taxes, basically. Which is I was like, okay, good job.
That's so dumb.
I know. It's like, yeah, this makes sense, except it's what the government's supposed to do for us. Anyway, don't want to get political, so why don't we get cocktaily? Should we get cocktaily?
Let's do that.
All right.
It's the only way I'm surviving, if we're being honest.
I think you might like this one in spite of the Campari that's in it.
Okay.
So we'll start with there's a drink called a Milano Torino, 2 cities in Italy. I've been to both of those actually. Or it's called a Mito. I assume it's a Mito since it's Torino and not a Me Too. That would be really weird. It's really just 2 ingredients. And now why am I not? Oh, it's equal parts Campari and sweet vermouth. Done. And that's it. And it sounds horrid to me because there's nothing in there that really cuts that bitter. So fortunately for people like us, Caitlin, there was someone somewhere, I don't know who.
We just did a little iteration.
Yeah, he iterated on it, made it a Milano Torino sour, which is good. There's also another one. There's a Milano Torino. Oh, we found it while we were looking for the recipe for this one. There's a different one too. But anyway, this is the sour.
Okay.
So one, it goes in a coupe glass, which I love a coupe glass. But you basically take the Campari and instead of sweet vermouth, you use dry vermouth. We used very dry vermouth, which I didn't know was a thing or that we had. And then you put both grapefruit and lime juice in it. And then an egg white for a frothy finish. This is my first egg white drink at home. I haven't done one.
Shake for just
dry shake that thing for a while. So I was also I already had the ice in. I was putting in the liquor, and then and Brian was he's like, you have to dry shake that if it's going to have an egg white. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know this? I don't do these things. So I poured the liquor back out into a glass so I could keep it, and then dumped the ice. And then put everything back into the shaker to do a dry shake.
And to do it the hard way.
I did. But I liked it. And I think we've got tasting notes for a little bit later. So why don't you go ahead and jump into how you make this thing. And then we can let the tasting notes run, and then I'll tell you what I think you think of it. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Hey, Caitlin, what about that recipe?
I think that it's an ounce of Campari, 1 ounce of dry vermouth, 3/4 of an ounce of grapefruit juice, a 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, 1 egg white, and 2 dashes of orange bitters.
I forgot about that part, which we had at home. We actually had to get the grapefruit juice.
You have a very full bar, and you didn't even know.
Yeah, almost use all the Campari because we made 2. But yeah. All right, so what do I do with all that then?
Then you're going to combine all of that in a cocktail shaker, dry shake, as we've covered, without ice. Add the ice and shake again until chilled, and strain into a coupe glass.
So we made, let's listen to the notes, and then I will tell you a little bit more about the mistakes we made. Yeah. Okay, so I've been warned I'm going to hate this, but we'll give it a shot. Oh, I don't. The grapefruit comes through. It's a little bit sour, but it loses that cough medicine-iness of the Campari, right? Yeah, that was. I'm like, what did we have in it? Yeah, Campari. Yeah, I could do this. Light, refreshing for like a summer day. Okay, so a couple things, and I think I covered these in the notes, but we used bottled grapefruit juice and probably should not have done that because it has a little bit of sugar in it.
Yeah. I also feel like bottled has that, like, it's extra acidic, like, because of I think they use, like, citric acid to, like, preserve or whatever. I don't know. It was just extra, like...
It was okay. We wanted to shortcut it. It's not grapefruit season. But if you were to do that, we would cut the simple syrup or reduce the simple syrup because it was just a little too sweet. It needed to be a little more bitter, actually.
Yeah.
Lime juice, we worked great, but limes right now are like, they're really all pulp and no juice, which kind of sucks. And I talked about my mistake. But the other thing that gets me is, so we have the Yeti cocktail shaker, and it's insulated. So I generally shake a cocktail until I can't feel my hand anymore. My hand is so cold I don't want to hold the shaker. The Yeti one is insulated, so I don't ever get there, so I don't ever know how long to shake it. But we got there, and it looked pretty good. I think I sent photos as well. If I didn't send photos, I could get you some photos, Zach. But one of the issues, we did a double batch, of course, because we wanted 2, but we still only put in 1 egg white, thinking it would froth enough. Not true. Still need 2 egg whites, so we learned a lesson.
Yes. Yeah.
So... yeah, that's where we are.
Well, cheers to
right.
Milano. Good heavens.
Milano Torino.
Milano Torino. Milk
Merino.
Toast sour.
Just call it a Merino,
Help.
maybe.
Get me out of here.
How about a Mito sour? So
I love it.
We'll load you up on Mito sours, and then we'll be back
Just
after
roll
the break.
me out.
And we're back.
As you mentioned in the opening, we don't have a guest today. It's
right,
just you
just
and
us.
I. And in that vein, we're talking Hubspot product updates, how you can stay up to date, what has kind of come out recently, and the way that you can follow what's coming up.
Yep. And I always cover this whenever we have like a new HubSpot client or an onboarding. One of the first things I do is I show them, if you click your little brand name and your photo with whatever in the upper right-hand corner, it'll take you to a menu. And in that menu are a whole bunch of things, but the most fun one is product updates. Like projects is in there, the academy's in there, like a bunch of other stuff, your account and billing. But down below that is product updates. And this was something that came out, I think, last year. Maybe early last year they did this, maybe 2 years ago. But HubSpot started listing product updates, and at first it was just, here's everything that's been updated. And then they went with, here are betas in progress you can request. Well, now they've got betas that you can actually join right from that list. So there was one about formatting phone numbers that came up, and I was like, boop, in it we go. So I check that like once a week. And you can also get there... well, actually, that's the easiest way to get there. You've just got to be in HubSpot. Giving you this URL isn't going to help because it's kind of clunky and gross.
Yeah.
But it is app.hubspot.com/product-update/your-hub-ID. So you've got to put in, you got to know your hub ID. So again, just log in, click your little picture.
It's under your little menu. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's tons of those. So that's one of the best ways to find those for yourself, especially if you're an end HubSpot user and not an agency partner.
Yes.
We've got staff that help us and whatnot, and send us updates. But HubSpot really doesn't have any other place where they give out these updates. LinkedIn, I think there's a LinkedIn group that they do it maybe. But that's really it.
Yeah. But I like... if you're me, the way you find out about something is you accidentally try to use it. And then you're like, oh, well, that's cool.
My favorite is when so they've recently done a menu update, and not everybody has it, but some people do. So we opted into it grudgingly. So the menu's moving from the top to the left. And it's going from being kind of product specific, HubSpot product specific, like marketing, sales, service, commerce, other
Whatever
things,
the choices are,
to being more grouped by kind of content. And it's on the left in a double nested menu.
It's a little bit of a shift.
Yeah, the first time I saw it was in a client hub, brand new onboarding, and I was like, oh, that's new. I haven't seen that yet. And then it did come out for us to opt into the beta, and you can go back and forth right now. But, whoo, boy, that was a fun one.
My favorite, because I said like, oh, I don't know where to find this now. And Jessica was like, why are you using the new menu? And I was like, because my onboardings are using the new menu and I don't want to look like a buffoon. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I got to figure out where stuff is hiding now.
Even people who use HubSpot every day have to play with trial and error.
Right.
So speaking, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say some of the things that I have found exciting, the AI writing tools, specifically the subject line generation is really great. But honestly, like some of the content expansion, it'll help you write emails. You can like change the tone of things, and you can similar, like if anybody's using ChatGPT, right? It'll allow you to like copy and paste, and then you can adapt. And I for one of the groups I volunteer with, I wrote basically like an entire proposal utilizing AI writing, because I was like, I know what I want to say, but I don't have the time to put it together, and I just I can't do it. And so I used a combination of HubSpot AI writing and ChatGPT, and it was so easy.
Yeah, and the email subject line generator is for marketing emails. So, and right when you go to where that subject line is, you can do it right from there. Like there's a prompt.
The little stars.
To be able to do it, which that is a really cool one. And I think, speaking of places to find product updates, we've got a blog post coming out on that, or maybe we have one already. I don't know, Zach, is it coming or is it out?
It's currently out, yeah.
Okay.
Out?
We released it when it was in beta, and the copy is going to be updated to reflect like the final
live changes.
Yeah.
All right. And you can find all of those at antidote71.com/HubSpot-tips. We'll get you to it's literally our blog that's only about HubSpot tips. You don't have to read anything else. I mean, we have a blog. You can read other things too if you want to, but that's the one that's just HubSpot tips. Yeah. And you can subscribe, and we will email them to you every month. Which is really great.
Handwritten. They're handwritten
emails. I think that the way HubSpot's been approaching data organization has been interesting. So we got folders with lists and with documents and with images and all that a long time ago. But they just changed how you can organize workflows so you can actually group them really well as well.
Thank heavens.
Well, yeah, because you get into some hubs and there's like 150 workflows, 200 workflows, and it's like grouping those together. So I have like our little folder of data cleanup workflows, where it like changes people to non-marketing, it deletes bounced email people, and all of those things are in there.
Well, and I've started using too, kind of in that same vein, and it's not new, but it is really helpful, the description of a workflow. Because like the title isn't always sufficient, right? But then it's like if you can just say what the workflow does, where it's like changes new prospects to marketing contacts, enrolls them in nurture campaign with 3 emails. Like that's so much more helpful and robust than just like nurture campaign prospect, right? And especially when we're doing things on behalf of other clients or of our clients, that like the hit by the bus plan, right? Outline it, make it succinct and specific, and help other people understand what you're doing.
Well, and a lot of what we do is teaching them to fish, right? We don't retain every client that we onboard. For a lot of them, a majority, we actually just do the onboarding and then they're off kind of on their own. Fly, bird, fly. And so having that description can be really, really helpful. I know we've got one that's super simple, that all it does is match the company name from the company record and put it on the company name slot in the contact record, which is something that HubSpot should just do automatically, I feel like, but they don't. And so that keeps those matched. I just showed that to somebody the other day and they were like, why are there 2? And I'm like, there just are. Like there's your associated company name, and then there's company name, which is just a field you could type, Banana Palooza into or whatever. That's a festival I would go to. Banana.
Do you know the other thing that I really want them to do is stop making the state a single line text. State property. Just make it a drop down. There are 50 states. There have been 50 states. There will probably only ever be 50 states. Don't allow people to type whatever the frick they want in there because it makes it very hard to keep up.
Yeah, and that's one that, there is an automation in Operations Hub that will convert all your states to 2 letters. But I don't know what it does with like huge typos or anything.
Exactly, right?
But yeah, that's one that should just be a drop down. Like, come on.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
There's other things like that. So the closed lost reason on a deal is also just an open field. And you can't report on that. Like, I want to be able to report on why.
Just like type whatever. Like a customer was having a bad day and they yelled at me and then I never want to talk to them again.
We should do one of these where we go into our closed lost reasons and read them. It'd probably be sort of like celebrities reading tweets about them on whoever does that, Kimmel or Fallon or whoever.
I think it's Kimmel.
Because I'm sure that there are plenty of like, was a jerk in there. Because I know we do have that filter and we'll be like, nope. All right. So let's see here.
The other one that I am appreciative of, even though I can't understand filter criteria all of the time, the redesigned workflow actions.
That one?
I understand from a new client or new HubSpot customer perspective why they did it. But dang, if I don't go looking in the wrong spot every damn time I want to change somebody to a marketing contact, I'm like, it's purple? No, it's green. And I just can't ever remember.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard because I was like, oh, this is different and now it's on the left. We should have seen this left menu thing coming. Maybe there's a left menu for workflow actions. But I did start talking to people about the color coding. Also, if you're doing a workflow in a pipeline, like in a deal pipeline in a specific stage, if you end up making it complex enough that it has to become a workflow in the workflows area, it can't be contained in that one column, so it's not linear.
Yep.
It actually turns orange, which tells you it's in the workflow tool versus, I can't remember what color it is, if it stays and is self-contained within its lane. So if it gets out of its lane, it turns orange. But yeah, I've been talking to people about those colors because it's important to show them that, right? And to be like, what each of these are. But I've had the same thing where people are like, but I want marketing contacts to be under the purple for marketing.
No, I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
So,
I don't know. A lot of times on onboardings, I'm like, they didn't ask me before they did this. And then I just carry on.
I know, right? So a couple other things that they're doing. So they've... this one I have not played with yet because I like the old CTAs. But they have new CTAs, which are way broader than just like buttons. The old CTAs used to be buttons or links, buttons or links, buttons or links. And now the new ones are like huge. Like there's tons of them. And so we still have those old buttons and links though. So they're they've got a tool to migrate those from the old legacy CTAs into the new CTAs. But again, moderately terrified about doing that. But I suppose I should do it with us before we have to do it with the client. Right? But I just want to do one. I wonder if I can. I'll have to go look and see if I can just do one.
Like
know,
just
Zach, have you looked into that feature at all, Zach, yet? Or
the legacy CTA migration?
Probably not. It's not really in your wheelhouse.
I haven't looked into it, but I did write the blog for it. So
did you use HubSpot content creation or did you write it yourself? I'm just kidding.
I wrote it myself, but I'm looking at it again because I don't exactly remember all of what it entails. So
yeah, and this is the first time I've seen them when they completely change a feature like that, where I've seen them have a migration tool, and it might be that other things didn't need it, and this is the one that was like, oh,
Yeah.
this needs to have some. This can't be just done by humans. We need to have our computer do this for us.
Yeah, it clones your existing like legacy CTAs and allows you to like
so just
like-
that's handy.
yeah, it creates a copy of your legacy CTA and
In the
It
new
lets you-
or like in the new version.
but it basically allows you to migrate them into the new version.
Okay, so I don't have to go to every single page with the CTA on it and change it out.
There's a
Makes sense. I mean, like that sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah,
there's a
it is
drop
odd.
down you can go to kind of like find them.
Okay, I'll have to play with that. But it is nice that they're at least trying to guide folks on,
Yeah.
hey, this new thing is coming. That's also one where they've had the new CTAs out for a while, like most of last year, I think, and haven't forced it
Why-
yet, but they will.
Why should people use CTAs instead of regular buttons?
You get more tracking.
Yeah.
And you can do actions off of them super easy. So there's HubSpot's automatically tracking it, so you don't have to put like a UTM on your button.
Yep.
HubSpot's going to know where that button was, what that button was, if that button's associated with the campaign, and it can actually assign those UTM parameters to it. Super cool. I mean, honestly, I feel like people should replace every single button on their website with a CTA. Maybe not everyone. But we do important ones, so like schedule a meeting is going to be a
Yep.
CTA, not a button. Contact us will be a CTA, not a button. Read more is probably just going to be a button.
Yeah.
Might be a CTA, I don't know, but really depends on what it's on and how it's working. But especially on landing pages, you should definitely use CTAs.
Yeah.
And you can also put the same CTA on more than one page. You can put it in an email, you can put it in a website page, landing page, blog post, because again, HubSpot knows where it's at, and you'll be able to split that reporting on it, which is really great.
Just wanted to add this in here too. All legacy CTAs are going to be sunsetted by the end of 2024. So this tool is designed to basically help you migrate all of your legacy CTAs in before support ends for them. So if you do have legacy CTAs, make sure to start migrating those before
Get to
the end
getting,
of
folks.
2024. But, yeah.
All right, so it's March, which means that we'll start migrating ours on like December 15th.
November. I know. I was like November 29th.
Well, now I know what I'll be doing over Christmas break. I'll be migrating our CTAs. So yeah, and again,
Because
like,
the cobbler's kids don't have shoes.
we're trying to have shoes. But all of these like either are coming or have been posted on our lead gen lab notes, which like I said is at antidote71.com/HubSpot-tips. And of course that 71 is the number 7, number 1.
Could you imagine making people spell 71 in a URL?
I'm
Ugh.
trying to remember if I bought it or not. I think I might have. And maybe I didn't. I don't know. We've got a bunch of URLs. I did misspellings because they spell antidote with ANTEDOTE.
Oh.
So that redirects automatically to
What
our
about
website.
anecdote? I get that one a lot. What's anecdote 71?
We just tell silly stories. That's the beginning of this podcast.
It's the
was
tangent.
Anecdote, yes. We could have called ourselves Tangent 71. That's kind of fun. Maybe not as strategic. All right.
I mean, that's kind of my MO.
So I think we're probably at the point where we're going to make Zach happy and wrap this up on time as well, or close to on time. So basically, like we talked about a few of the things that have been updated in HubSpot recently. Also, don't forget in that upper right menu, when you click on your little picture or your brand name, I'm doing it with my finger here, but nobody can see me. That's where product updates live, and you can go
And it's
see what's
called
new.
product updates.
It is. It's pretty
not,
easy.
It's not hiding in some weird random
Right.
name.
And that's where you can actually see all those updates. You can opt into some of the betas.
Yes.
The betas that are closed or private betas now generally now have a request beta button. And you can click that, and it's literally one click, and it knows who you are, it knows what hub you are, and it just sends it off to the person who can maybe add you or maybe not.
Yep.
And we've done
Some
several
of them, if you
private
opt
betas.
in, are like right away too, that it'll just turn it on, which is cool.
they have join beta and request
okay.
access. I think there's join and request.
Gotcha.
So all of those are really great things.
Yes. Thank you again for listening, and you can find us at Antidote 71, as we mentioned, 71, not spelled out, antidote71.com or antidote_71 on the socials.
The socials.
Yes. If you have a question you'd like to send our way, you can go to ctapodcast.live and send us a message, or, and I think this is even better, leave us a voice message on our I love that we call it a hotline, because like only if you're over the age of 30 do you remember
Do you know
a hotline.
what a hotline is?
Like, can't I text it?
I mean, at least it's not a party line.
That's true. That's
You
true.
got to be way over the age of 30
I know
for
what
those.
I know what that is, though.
Did you have one in your house?
No. The first phone I ever had, though, like I had a phone line in my bedroom, and it was a rotary dial, and I thought it was
good for
the
you.
coolest thing. Yeah. Anyway, you can leave a voice message on our hotline at 402-718-9971, and you'll probably hear yourself on a future episode if you do that.
Because so far, most of what's in there, I've been looking at it, is just spam calls. People who want us to fix our Google listing for a number that's not associated with our company really anywhere. But it's sweet.
That
All
is
right.
it.
Well, no, it's just, I just delete them. But yeah, so definitely we love that feedback. We want that interaction. And also, speaking of neither of those things, we have an upcoming episode in a couple weeks. And so this one, I love the cocktail. It's the pollinated bee's knees. It's a riff off of the traditional bee's knees cocktail, if you've never had it. We had that as the cocktail of the season for our pool one year in San Diego. That was our summer cocktail we always had available, and was so popular we ended up doing it in pitchers when we had a pool party, which was great.
Yes.
And with that one, we'll be talking about understanding CTV advertising. CTV,
I'm so
OTT.
excited about this.
Basically, how do those ads on Hulu and Peacock and YouTube
Probably
and
Netflix.
Random Video, Netflix
Sometime
now,
soon.
how do those all get there? How do they happen? Why do you see what you see? How can you take advantage of that?
It's in the cloud.
It isn't. It's very good. It's in the cloud. It's all in the clouds.
It's in the cloud.
So that'll be a really fun episode. So pollinated bee's knees and understanding CTV, OTT advertising. So we look
can't
forward to
wait.
seeing you then.